Hello, boys and girls. It is Roxors, and I play games. And you know what day it is. It is Theorycraft Thursday. Theorycraft Thursday for those that are new to the channel. First off, thanks for joining us. And secondly, how dare you? And thirdly, Theorycraft Thursday is all about where we try to look at the Grand Alliances. We look at our collection. I'll start going into it now. And we start to pick out... Oh, it's death, apparently. We start to pick out, what don't we see? We play a lot of games. We tend to see a lot of the same stuff. And if you've watched my videos, you've seen... me talk about it during placement when I see whatever it is go down. Okay, this is either speed chaos or, removal focused Archaon. If it is, then Archaon's going to be over here, and that's no fun. But maybe it's fun for some people, but I like to be intrigued. I like novel ideas. And I think other people do too. But then they're also pulled by the I want to win, side of their brain. And, what's been proven. And, we'll just play destruction. Well, to each their own. But that's not why I play this game. So I play this game because it's got interesting interactions. I like the fantasy theme and all that jazz. But, what do I have for... missions? I need to play death cards. Well, that is a great jumping off point. So let's look at death, shall we? Alright. So death. Last week we did Bone Theory, which was a pretty spicy build. Building up a bone wall and mitigating a ton of damage, and we won some ranked games with it. So, go check that one out. That was last week. Alright, we've got your vampires. Ghoul King is just too cheesy even for me. Alright, so... we need to play some death cards, right? Alright. Oh boy, need some spirits. I do love myself some Kaldrak. I think he's good. Neferata, some people still use, just because... But then, I feel like if you're going to, you might as well just play the Queen, the Bloody Queen. She is... And she quests pretty easily, I think. Play a unit, play an ability. I don't like the -1 health. Alright. So that leads me down a certain road that I'm sure all of you death players have been down before. Why are you 15 points? Just kidding. But damn, why is he 15 points? If he was 13, good things could happen. Anywho. Coven Throne. Yeah, I know you guys all have Coven Throne decks. Cricket. Exactly. Now... instead of just, because there's always a method to the madness, right? We can't just grab a card and play it and say, we're just going to play this because it's fun, or nobody does it. Ooh, look at me, I'm special. No, we still got to be competitive. We still got to build something that works. We're going to go into ranked. We want to win a couple games, even though that might not be our first goal, is to win. It should be on the list. And it's a goal for some people. So... if I only make videos that's, niche to a certain demographic, weird combo decks, there's some people who don't want to play weird combo decks. There's people who want to play aggro, and I've got something for everybody. So the first thing I do when I look at a champion that I kind of want to build around is, one, are they good? And I look at a few things on Coven Throne here. Obviously, the first one is always an ability, right? The Heroic Act. Look at 2 highlighted, unrevealed blessings. You can swap their positions. Now, we live in a day and age where people complain about destruction, obviously. Certain destruction blessings, like cruising for a bruising or smash and bash at the best possible time and all this other stuff, right? Chaos. Why is Unrivaled Battlelust the first one every time? So what if we had an ability that made it so it wasn't the first one? Maybe we don't want Wanton Destruction showing up as the first one when they have a lot of health. Maybe when they have low health, we want Wanton Destruction to show up because it hurts them for 4 before it does anything. Maybe against death, we don't want them to pop their Orb of Immortality. So we dance it around. When people play the game, you tend to focus on a certain guy. I mean, even if it's as simple as playing one unit on your, little dork in the corner. Well, now he's progressed 1. So the next unit, you're probably going to play on that same guy. So we know where you're going. So let's just take a little peek skis at what that blessing is. And, if we want to see that one right now. There's sometimes that revealing Cruising for a Bruising is A-okay. Because they don't have any orcs, or it's better than Smash and Bash, or whatever it might be. It gives us a little bit of flexibility. So I think that's pretty cool. I also like the idea that she's a vampire. I also like the idea she gives you 2 health. I feel like that is not relevant. Because, we're talking about for 1 point less, you're getting -1 health with Bloody Vampire. And this is, essentially a 3-point swing. So if we're starting with Coven Throne, now we got the Nagash complex. Do we play 1 wizard? I don't know that answer. So we need spells, obviously. We need removal, which isn't an issue with death. I try to dodge guys that need removal because I feel like they're really narrow. Spell removal. So if you can ever 2 for 1, that's always a great option. It's a great way to move forward. Destruction does it. Why can't we? So I'm looking for spells that remove, and I think the most blatant one is Soul Feast. Can only be deployed by a vampire. Check. Remove a unit. Check. If it was removed, gain 6 health. Triple check. I am all about that. So Soul Feast and Coven Throne were a match made in heaven. We also have Born from Blood, which isn't bad. It just doesn't do damage, and it takes 3 turns to rotate. It could be like a one-of, just to have another removal effect, but she is also a wizard warrior, so we can play things like Frenzy of Gargeist. So I think there's another removal. We're always going to play 3 Devours, right? And here you go, as you guys have seen before. This is how we build the deck, right? Kind of jump around a little bit. She also wants to do damage. She wants to summon vampires. Was that the last one? Yeah. Do damage, summon vampires. Damage shouldn't be hard. Vampires shouldn't be hard. One thing I will say when people make death decks is I feel like they tend to forget their win condition. Like, I want to remove, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to gain life, but then you don't win the game. Or it takes you forever, and you complain about winning the game. So I still think we need to get damage on the board. So with that being said, I think we're going to play Murderous Fargeist. That's not the right one. That gets us damage. If we can recur it, that's great. Okay. So we're somewhere now. And we still have 10 points in champions. Let's just take another gander back at champion. If we want to not have all our eggs in one basket, meaning if we want to play more spells, we'd obviously have to bring in probably another wizard. We got the Necromancer, which wants Risen, which we're not in right now. And the only other vampire we can really play is this guy. who also wants removal. And he also combos too with Frenzied Vargeist in that you play Frenzied Vargeist for the first corner and remove for the second corner. And then he wants healing, which he himself does, so that's not a problem, and then a unit. So that seems like a good pick if we want to do another... if we want to do another wizard. We can also run the Ghoul King, who happens to be a vampire, which doesn't care about anything else other than playing Mordant units. So then we just have to play a bunch of Mordant units, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. His ability isn't relevant in that he won't have anybody to buff, because we'll have to play 2 Skeleton Dorks. And I feel like that's just a lot of units, where something like the Hungering Vampire Lord, we can get 2 for 1 by playing a vampire and removing, or something to that extent. You could even play a vampire like Feasting Vargeist, remove with Devour, and then the tick of Feasting Vargeist will get you the heal. Which leads me to believe that we should be playing Feasting Vargeist. Card drawing is never a bad thing. So, okay, we're getting somewhere. Do we want Black Knights for more removal? That's a good question. I don't know. Do we want any more spells? That's another good question. I think if we're going to play vampires, we want to play Terrify. I don't see a reason not to. There's some other underused cards like Soul Eater you never really see anybody play. It is Rend damage, which isn't not relevant. I see a lot more people playing Mitigation. With that being said, maybe we throw Mystic Shields in here or two. So, we're going to add the Vampire Lord, and then we're going to have 4 left. So, we can do, 2 Hell Knights, but then we're talking about Risen guys. We can do 1 of the Couriers, which is just all units, and that's, really easy to do. And he doesn't gain us any health, so maybe we want health? We could do 1 of these guys, but same thing, we have to play Risen guys. Do we just play 2 Skeleton Dorks? It might be the best bet. Unit, ability, unit. And you get a life out of it, So, is the ability going to be a pain in our butt? That's the thing. If we just want to play all units, then we go for... we'll still have to have a dork, so it's not like we're not going to have abilities. What's this guy? 2. But we want spirits, and there's 2 spirits in the game? Not yet, buddy. It's not your time. I think that's what we do. So now with that being said, we're looking at units, right? And you guys have heard me say this kind of equation before. When I'm trying to figure out how much of a certain type of card I'm going to put in a deck, I tend to look at what is needed for quests. So we'll talk about removal, right? So she's got 1 removal, and Vampire Lord has 1 removal as well, so it's 2. And I usually multiply it by 2.5, which will get me to 5. So I want 5 instances of removal in my deck. I see that as 3 Soul Feasts, 3 Feasting Vargeist, so I'm good. I can reliably draw, and I came upon that kind of equation, if you will, just after a lot of playtesting. A lot of seeing when things come up. Luck will be part of it, as always. But if I'm looking at another removal unit and going like Black Knight, do I need more removal? Not necessarily. Which is good. You never want to not have the card you need, obviously. The way we play is going to be, play a card, draw a card kind of thing. So we're going to have some card drawing. We've got Feasting Vargeists. So I'd like to think we'll see what we need. And if we don't, then, we treat the deck. That's how it goes. Alright, so, abilities we now need. Because we have 2 guys, right? Because no abilities here, and no abilities here. Right. Alright, so Skeleton Champion. There's 2 of them. That's 5 instances of abilities. What abilities can they play? Tactical formations. Now, tactical formations I'm a big proponent of, right? But in this deck, where I'm not sure. The reason I say that is because I'm not sure how much you want to move around your vampires. But then maybe you do for purposes of getting that removal. So let's do 2, because we're going for 5, right? I mean, we got Devours. I never count Devour as an ability because I'm not going to hold it to get that ability quest off. I'm thinking about something I can, like, throw away because I need to get that off. Call of the Grave's easy. Gain 1 health and just shuffle 2 back. We might need that because we're not playing Bloody Vampire Queen, so we're not getting them back from her ability. Or we do, like, Frightful Strikes, which is very relevant for our big cost guys, just not so much the skeleton guys. So then maybe we just do Curse Strikes? Which might have a relevant ability? Okay. I'm down with that. Alright, so we're getting places. We got 10 more spots. We've got 9 units, so we're going to need more units. And again, I want to stress the fact that we have to be smart about, win condition. We still want vampires, but I think we got them all. Alright, so we're good with vampires for purposes of completing our quest. Because we don't really have any recursion, I don't really want to play any zombie dragons or anything like that. That's going to make us discard. I think we look at Mordants. I think one of the stronger ones is the Fearsome Crypt Flare. So we'll do 3 of those. Because that's 4 damage over 3, and it makes units dormant, which isn't a bad thing. Ethereal Horde is fairly guaranteed 4 damage, because no one's going to remove it, but then I also want to think if I want to tie guy up that much for 4 damage. We could go Mitigation. We only get 2 out of it, though, so the question is whether or not we need the Mitigation. And I also have to think that the most of the units that we're going to play, now we got to think about how we're going to place our guys, right? And typically with vampires, you'll always place them in the middle, especially if you're going to play Terrify, which I don't think we're not sold on yet, but I do like Terrify. So with that being said, the units that we play are possibly going to be in the corners where the skeleton dorks are. So something like a Crypt Shield isn't that good because we're already taking away half of its usability. We lose a left or a right. To be honest, I'm kind of looking at Bat Swarm because it does what I just showed you. It does, obviously not in as great of a shotgun blast with the skeleton, but it mitigates and does damage. Like you put this across from a pack of bloodletters, and their first 3, rotations, get bonked. So that's not that bad. And it's 3 damage. We could also play some healing here, which again isn't that bad. It's 4. Maybe we just want to go for the big guy. Where is he? Maybe we just want to do this because it's 6, right? I also feel like 6 damage is kind of a threat, and people might just remove it. Now, we're not going to have any way of really getting it back, but just throwing this guy in the corner for a guaranteed 6 damage isn't a bad thing. Alright. So if I did, I guess 3. Where are we at for units now? 15? 15's a good unit size, especially if you have card drawing or any sort of recursion. We got 4 more spots. Now we go back into spells. Now we got to look at if we're going to grab any more of these spells. I do like Terrify. Or at least I want to try Terrify. We'll say that. I felt like I put them in. Did they not go in? There we go. Okay. Do we want to play anything else? Because now we have 2 wizards, so we're okay. We only have 5 spells, so we only need 1. essentially. But I don't think we want to do like an Arcane Bolt just for the heck of it. Arcane Bolt really works well with definitely Resolve to move it forward. Frightful Touches, it's damage, it's quick damage, and it makes them play a unit in front of us. That's not bad. Just double checking, we've got all of our abilities that we want, I think. Tacticals and Curse Strikes. I mean, we could use a couple more, maybe. I don't know if I want to do like a 2-of on a Frightful Strike. So, I think we're good on units. I guess the big question is whether or not we want any sort of recursion. And there are spells that do that. This brings back spirits. That's not good. Grave Call? Resonant Spirits. That's not good. What does this do? Can't be removed. Oh, there's a Theorycraft Thursday for you at some point, buddy. Today's not that day. One of Born in Blood doesn't seem good. I don't know if we want Claws of the Grave. Maybe it's a Mystic Shield with 2 Terrifies. Yeah, because I guess you can kind of make them interchangeable, if you will. Mystic Shield to just go across the board. 2 Tacticals. What do we do with that last one? We can do like a 1-of Scrying Pool, because multiple Scrying Pools I'm not a fan of. There's no really 1-of unit I would want. We either go up to 3 in Tacticals, or we, do like 1 Call of the Grave. In a pickle. Commanding the Dead is only for... Alright. So, I think, we can obviously get back into this. Or we do like 1 Unholy Vitality if we're really getting our face beaten. I guess so. Because you know what? That can also trigger our Vampire Lord with healing. There we go. A little bit of a Swiss Army knife here. Soul Feasts, gives us some healing anyway if we actually remove something. Feasting Vargeist, Murderous Furgers. Yeah, alright. I think we got there. I think we've got enough of everything to complete what we're trying to do. I will say I think we're a little spell heavy with the 3 Soul Feasts, but we're never not going to be mad that we have a Soul Feast, and we're also not playing Black Knights. Many people, when they build death decks, that's like I did all the Devourers, they put Black Knights in there automatically. It's removing and doing 2 damage. If my Black Knight spot is now either this guy or this guy, with this one, we're doing 4 less damage 3 times during the game. And I can't imagine that's good. It's 12 less damage. Now, last but not least, Blessings, right? So what are we trying to do with this deck? I feel like we're trying to do damage. So I feel like we're a little aggro-ish. So with that being said, I think... And we do have a good amount of units, so I think maybe Morbid Terror is a good pick. That's also some hand disruption, which I'm down for. Carrying Feast gives us another good ability. I'm really a big fan of Cursed Altar. It's just a way better Mystic Shield. It hits everything. Even more so than Orb of Immortality. Because you can't really play around Cursed Altar. Yeah, you could throw like a little guy in there that's going to do 1 damage or something, but I just always find it's good. And then I think the last one is Horror, It's either that or Turmoil of Souls. Because I could see just another 4 damage being helpful and some hand disruption. We'll do Supernatural Horror for now. Alright, guys. I think we've got a deck here. Alright. Coven Theory. Beautiful. All right, so let's see if this thing works, right? And I'm digging it. I want to see how useful maybe this ability is going to be in a match. So join me in the upcoming videos for some gameplay with Coven Throne and Coven Theory. Thanks for watching, everybody. Rock Swords and Boxers, I will see you soon.